Hello everyone, and it's Nigel here, and it's time for another review. But this isn't your average review from myself. This isn't going to be a movie review or a video game review. This one is actually going to be a review of WrestleMania 38. That is right, I'm doing my first ever wrestling review. I love wrestling. I love watching wrestling most of the time, but this is gonna be my first wrestling review, and why not start off with a big one, the showcase of the Immortals WrestleMania 38. But without further ado, let's get into a couple things. For starters, my review, I'm doing a few today, so those will be up, and the other thing is, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, which is the Nigel verse here, so come subscribe, come join the Nigel verse, and also System Shock Radio and Tales from Labyrinth. The episodes I did yesterday and earlier on today are going to be up as well. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, starting off with night one. So, well, of course, WrestleMania, ever since Mania 36 with the pandemic and everything, they've split it up into two nights. There's night one and night two. Or now, they originally started that off because of the COVID pandemic and everything. They didn't want a whole bunch of people to be in the same place at the same time, so that it wouldn't spread. And so they decided to do it two nights, and I guess they kind of stuck with it. And now COVID is still a thing, but they kind of stuck with the whole two-night thing, which I guess is good in the long run because otherwise, each of these shows were like 4 hours apiece. So if they did it all in one night, with people being like, "Oh, I hate the two-night WrestleMania. It's annoying." Think about it. If they did all in one night, the same amount of length for each match and everything, we would have been there till like 4 in the morning. In which, no sir, no thank you. But without further ado, let's get into the first match. Actually, I got the match card up here. So it was the Usos defending their SmackDown Tag Team titles against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Now, I had to work Saturday night, so I didn't get out until 8 o'clock when I was starting. So I admit I kind of caught like half of the match, but the half I saw was pretty decent. And until Rick Boogs unfortunately got injured, he tore his quadricep, which, wow, quad tearing in WWE, it seems to be kind of an epidemic going around. It's the quad tearing everything, but he tore his quad and I think a different part of his knee as well. Oh, and I know he just got surgery, so hopefully he recovers soon. Which Rick Boogs, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, hopefully you recover soon. But from what I saw, the match looked pretty decent. Of course, the Usos retained. And then next up was Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. We had to wait months for this payout. Months of taunting by Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, and then Drew McIntyre only facing Madcap Moss led to this match at Mania, which was kind of a filler match, to be honest. But highly Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss got their comeuppance and everything. Drew McIntyre even sliced the top two ropes actually in half, both the top rope and the middle rope in half with his sword Angela, and finally beat Happy Corbin. Drew McIntyre, the first person to kick out of the End of Days. That's right, nobody has ever kicked out of Baron Corbin / Happy Corbin, however you wish to refer to him. Nobody's kicked out of the End of Days. And Baron Corbin's been in WWE for a while, and the fact that nobody's kicked out, not even the Tombstone or the Attitude Adjustment or even the Pedigree, have the distinction of being never kicked out of. But nope, End of Days finally been kicked out of in 2022. That is pretty crazy to think about, but yep, so Drew McIntyre delivering the comeuppance to both Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, and now as of SmackDown a couple days ago, it looks like Madcap Moss has finally turned against Happy Corbin and now is face and everything. So we'll see where it goes from there. Then The Miz and Logan Paul battled Ray and Dominic Mysterio. Logan Paul, of course, first YouTuber, vlogger, Viner. Vine is where I knew him from most. And boxer as well. Getting in the ring. Celebrity matches seem to be either hit or miss. Apparently, even though I didn't watch it last year, apparently Bad Bunny's WrestleMania match was actually really solid. And Logan Paul, I think, did a pretty good job in this match, all things considered. And they actually picked up the W. Miz and Logan Paul, the heels won, but Miz turned on Logan Paul, so we'll see where it goes from there. But Logan Paul actually did pretty well. He took it seriously, and you could tell he took it seriously. That's the thing about celebs in wrestling is, and why some people are either for it or against it, because it seems like some of them don't take it seriously, which they kind of don't. But Logan Paul took it seriously and even defended it, saying he was like sore after the match and everything, and went against the people who called wrestling fake and everything. He took the bumps. He took the bumps. I'll give credit where credit is due. He took bumps. But yeah, so we'll see where it goes from there. Apparently, Logan Paul still has a few more matches on his contract, so they had Miz turn on Logan Paul. But meanwhile, Ray and Dominic are about to, I guess, start feuding with Veer Mahan, who finally, after months, finally arrived on Raw, on the Raw after Mania. But next up was Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. Pretty good match. And Bianca Belair capturing the Raw Women's Championship. Love to see it. Absolutely big fan of Bianca Belair. And pretty much a redemption from how she lost it to Becky Lynch in such quick fashion at SummerSlam. And that's some pretty good long-term storytelling, which some you don't see a whole lot of in wrestling nowadays. WWE rarely busted out. They did it here. AEW, they try to rely on it a lot more. But Bianca Belair, finally won the Raw Women's Championship. So happy for her. Glad to see. Yeah, can't wait to see where she goes from here. Speaking of AEW, ladies and gentlemen, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes is back in the WWE. And he faced off against Seth Rollins. I'm not calling him Seth freaking Rollins because that's just a nickname. That's not his official name. I don't care what WWE says. That's just his nickname. But Cody Rhodes faced off against Seth Rollins. He was the mystery opponent. Seth Rollins for weeks was trying to find a way to Mania because he belongs at Mania. WrestleMania is not the same without him, even though it's WrestleMania 32, but that's not the point. The point is WrestleMania is not WrestleMania without him. I mean, so he was trying in different avenues to get in to WrestleMania, and Vince then said, if you want a WrestleMania match, you just had to ask. Really? Okay, I'll take you up on that, Vince. But Seth Rollins faced off against Cody Rhodes, and the pop he got was really good. And the way they're presenting him pretty much like the American Nightmare, how he was in like when he reinvented himself when he went to Ring of Honor and then AEW. He's got the music, he's got the attire and everything. So they're really building up Cody heavily, and it works out because that's the version of Cody we wanted to see. Now, Cody had been rumored to be back in WWE for a few months now. There were people saying he was showing up at Mania. I had to see it for myself, and glad to say he didn't disappoint. WrestleMania indeed does have more than one royal family, and Cody picking up the win here tonight, pretty cool to see. I'm glad to see Cody back in WWE. He said he didn't want to be Stardust anymore, which I kind of don't blame him, and hopefully Cody's second run in WWE is a lot better this time around. He wants to win the championship. He wants to do, excuse me, he wants to do what his father and his brother weren't able to do, and that's win the big one, the World Championship. Now, reception from the other side in AEW has been mixed. Some people are happy about him coming back, others aren't. Apparently, one of the reasons he decided that he left is because there was a personal backstage issue, and he left it at that, which props to Cody. But But um, he's back in WWE. Can't wait to see what else they do with him. Hopefully, he has some pretty good matches now that he's in WWE once again, and now that he's American Nightmare. Charlotte versus Ronda for the SmackDown Women's Championship. A little bit of a disappointing match, I can't lie. Ronda, unfortunately, he didn't really live up to the hype here. A lot of people were excited to see her back, but fortunately didn't deliver. And Charlotte won kind of in a weak way with the big boot. I think somebody got injured, so they had to end the match quickly. Not the last time that would happen at this WrestleMania. and but Charlotte, and actually that's not even the first time it happened that night on night one, because remember Rick Boogs earlier. But Charlotte beat Ronda. I was a little bit surprised. I thought Ronda was taking home the title, but I guess Charlotte's reign is continuing for right now, and Ronda and Charlotte are facing off at WrestleMania Backlash in an I Quit match. And apparently Cody is rematching against Seth. Not at WrestleMania Backlash, but the SmackDown before WrestleMania Backlash. First of all, neither of those men are on SmackDown. Both those men are on Raw. Well, actually, I think Cody's still a free agent, but Seth's definitely on Raw. Why are they on SmackDown fighting? And why not just have a match at WrestleMania Backlash? That's the point of like Backlash or WrestleMania Backlash, which is still kind of a cringy name in my opinion. Why not just call it Backlash? But the whole point of Backlash is that it's supposed to be like rematches from WrestleMania, but nope, they're gonna face off the SmackDown before. Okay, whatever you say. And finally, he, the tie for match of the night between Bianca and Cody. Between Bianca versus Becky and then Cody versus Seth. The other tie for match of the night, Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold, mainly because it started off as a segment and then it moved to a match. And not just any type of match for Stone Cold, but an actual match. It went according to the wiki, it went 13 minutes. It's an actual match. It's surprising literally everyone. It was a no holds barred match. Stone Cold took actual bumps. Kevin took actual bumps. There was actual fight back, and it was actually a lot of fun. And what mirrorverse thing is this? Where Stone Cold is having an actual match against Kevin Owens, and in 19 years, of course, after Stone Cold's last match, ironically at WrestleMania 19 against The Rock, Stone Cold's having an actual match with KO here, and it was an actual good match. Not the last time we see Stone Cold at WrestleMania. Yeah, bit of spoilers, but yeah, no holds barred match. It was actually pretty good. Stone Cold, of course, picked up the W, all because Kevin Owens disrespected Texas. But I'm sorry, I just got gushed about Kevin Owens for a second. Kevin Owens, oh man, he is the man. He has gone along with pretty much whatever they give him. He has made it work. He has gone along with it, and it's fantastic. We love you, Kevin Owens. We absolutely do. The next night, night 2, we move on to RK Bro against the Street Profits and the Alpha Academy in a triple threat tag match. Pretty solid match. It was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. That RK off the top rope by Riddle was really cool to see. And RK Bro retained the titles. So, next up, Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Now, this match was a little bit weird, I feel like, going in, mainly because it almost seemed like a lose-lose situation where either Bobby Lashley, he loses, the guy who's been WWE champion and the most recent WWE champion before Brock Lesnar, and the guy who's been built pretty strongly versus Omos, a guy who, after breaking off from AJ Styles, was built up as this like big unstoppable monster. But someone had to lose, and it happened to be Omos. But now it's a new storyline setting up where MVP has turned on Bobby Lashley. Yes, MVP, the man who helped get Bobby Lashley to those big heights, has turned on him and aligned himself with Omos, so they'll likely be facing at WrestleMania Backlash. But Bobby Lashley and MVP's partnership is no more, and Jesus wept. But But we'll see where the storyline goes. Next up, Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn in an anything goes match. Of course, Johnny Knoxville, the star of the Jackass movies, and he has been feuding with Sami Zayn for some time now in a pretty interesting feud. And this match, it was better than it had any right to be. This is another celebrity match. Quite a few of those. Now that I think about it on Mania. There was three of them in total, although the third one is kind of I don't know if it really counts as a celeb match, but Johnny Knoxville, well, this match felt like insanity, but it was kind of fun. A lot of the props and stuff from the movies and stuff, like the big hand, and then the other characters. I'm not really familiar with those movies. I haven't really seen them, but but the match was kind of funny. I can't even lie. And Sami Zayn getting pinned under a giant mousetrap to lose. I guess he technically didn't lose clean, but Sami Zayn, just like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn done everything that W's asked of him, has made it work. Absolutely love them both, and it's no wonder why they're best friends, you know. But next up was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. A pretty decent match, kind of like a cool down match from what we saw. Sasha Banks and Naomi picking up the win and the tag team titles. Sasha Banks, ladies and gentlemen, has gotten her first win at WrestleMania. It is about time, man. And now, prior to this, people were talking about how Sasha Banks has never won at Mania. I'm like, oh shoot, she hasn't. It's like Undertaker in reverse, where she hasn't won at Mania, and it's pretty surprising and a little bit infuriating. I like Sasha Banks, but why has she not gotten a win at Mania? That's weird to think about. Oh, but she finally got one here. Her and Naomi are now the women's tag team champions. But next up, Edge versus AJ Styles. Apparently, according to the wiki, this is the longest match of the night, which doesn't surprise me. That entrance from Edge, man, that was cool. Well, Edge, let's talk about Edge for a second. I really like what they're doing with him now, where he's heel once again, which I absolutely love. I've always thought, me personally, I'm a big fan of Edge. I've always thought Edge is a much better heel than he is face. So to see him be a heel once again is pretty cool. But it's a different character. It's a lot more of a darker take, and that includes new theme music, baby. The Other Side by Ultra Bridge. Now, Ultra Bridge did Edge's other song that everybody loves, Metalingus. But now that they're doing this new song, which it's not really new, this song came out in like 2013 if I'm not mistaken, but it really fits the new persona of Edge, and it's cool to see that even when he gets new theme music, he's sticking with Ultra Bridge. But that entrance and then the match was pretty cool. AJ Styles apparently got busted open even before he walked down the ramp. You saw he was bleeding. I'm like, whoa, what's that about? But I think some people are saying he either hit his head on the WrestleMania sign, which I saw on YouTube. I saw a clip of it where he actually did get his head nailed by the WrestleMania sign. So, that might have been it, and that probably was it. If so, he got busted open the same way Goldberg did that time where he hit his head off the door as he was coming out making his entrance. But some people are saying the power ricocheted off of him. And whichever it was, hopefully he's okay. But AJ Styles and Edge had a really solid match. This match, out of all the matches on night 2, this one I was the most excited about because I absolutely love these two guys. First time they're facing off, even though technically not, because Edge was in the Royal Rumble when he returned in 2020, and I think he eliminated AJ Styles, if I'm not mistaken, but this is the first time they had an actual one-on-one. It was pretty decent, and Damian Priest is now aligned with Edge, so interesting to see where that partnership will end up and everything. But next up was Sheamus and Rich Holland with Butch, aka Pete Dunne, but you're calling him Butch, oi, versus the New Day. Now, this match was supposed to take place on night 1, but had to be cut due to all the promos that WWE ran, and which really was annoying. There was a lot of promos that WWE ran. There was commercials which looped. It was like the same maybe four commercials almost the entire night. The DraftKings and the Snickers and the Mike's Harder Lemonade commercials were looping all throughout night one, and then they did the Hall of Fame thing, in which understandable. Oh yeah, you want to do the Hall of Fame? They always do it at each WrestleMania. But yeah, but and then they also did on night one. They did the thing where they introduced Gable Steveson, I should say. No disrespect to Gable Steveson, but that's something they could have did on Raw, especially because that's the brand Gable Steveson is going to anyway. They could have did that on Raw. They didn't need to take up, excuse me, all that pay-per-view time to where a match had to get cut, and that was pretty annoying. And then night two, they had the commercials again. They did the Hall of Fame thing again. And Undertaker, who won the Hall of Fame this year, big ups to him, he did the same thing on night two that he did in night one. He walked out, he said, hey, thank you, he waved to the fans. And then on night two, although he did like the fist in the air and stuff, but that I think he really didn't need to do again necessarily, but I understand it's the Undertaker. He's the big locker room veteran, my personal favorite wrestler, and he was my grandmother's wrestler before she passed. But yeah, I get Undertaker going to Hall of Fame is a big deal, but like, why did he do the same thing he did the first night? I guess for the fans who missed night one, who were supposed to go to night one, who missed it, and so he probably did it for night two for them. But it was still pretty weird, I gotta say. But at least they didn't do the whole Hall of Fame video package like they did for night one. They didn't repeat it for night two. They just did the let's hear it one more time for the class of 2022, which, okay, fair enough. But yeah, but this match, not only did it get moved to night two, but the match was 1 minute 40 seconds. Why? It was shorter than the match that Goldberg had against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Here's 2016. Hey, oh boy. Yeah, at least I think it was. No, I think the Brock vs. Goldberg match was shorter. Or, I'm gonna look it up, but yeah, only like 1 minute 40 seconds. It was just a quick things. Pete Dunne, aka Butch, pretty much distracted the New Day. Sheamus came in with the Brogue Kick. Boom, boom, boom. Match is over fairly quickly. Which, if you're not gonna commit to the match, you might as well just took it off WrestleMania. And honestly, compared to other matches, this is the match that not a lot of people were very interested in. But this is a match they could have did on SmackDown. But if you're gonna have it on WrestleMania, at least commit to it. At least, like, do it up, At least have an actual match. Like, some of the stuff could have been trimmed. It could have been placed on night one. I'm not expecting, like, a 30-minute classic because out of all the matches that he's won, this wasn't the match I was really looking forward to, which no disrespect to any of the men involved, especially New Day. Love the New Day. Hey, Biggie, hope you're recovering well as well in the hospital. But, yeah, this is a match that... Yeah. And apparently the match between Goldberg and Brock was 1 minute 26, so I was wrong. I do apologize. WrestleMania 38. But, yeah, pretty short match. Kind of didn't need to be there, which is unfortunate because I do like all the men involved. I like the New Day. I like Sheamus. Ridge Holland, from what I've seen, is pretty decent. But, yeah, this just wasn't it, unfortunately. Which is not really on them. They need space for other stuff, I guess. But the end, there was a Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. This is technically the third celebrity match, but the reason I kind of say it's not really is because Pat McAfee's like a regular on SmackDown. He does commentary very well, might I add. He's absolutely hilarious when he does commentary. And Pat McAfee has wrestled in WWE before. Remember in NXT, he took on Adam Cole. And then him, Pete Dunne, Oni Lorcan, and Danny Burch, the Kings of NXT, took on the Undisputed Era at War Games 2020 in the Undisputed Era's last War Games match. But so he's not really a fish out of water like Logan Paul was, but match between Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, I think, was pretty Eason and Austin Theory. I don't know why he's getting a lot of hate all of a sudden, but yeah, Pat McAfee defeated Austin Theory. Then Mr. McMahon chastised Theory. Pat won a match with Vince. Vince stepped in the ring and they rung the bell. Vince McMahon got a whole lot of offense in and beat Pat McAfee at WrestleMania. What is going on? Now, excuse me. Now, it was rumored for a while now that Mr. McMahon was going to get back in the ring with Pat McAfee. But when Pat McAfee was announced to face Austin Theory, said Mr. McMahon, I'm sure a lot of people pretty sigh of relief, like, whew, okay, he's not facing. But turns out he is. It was a bait and switch, man. It was a bait and switch. They lied to us. They got us. And Mr. McMahon and Pat McAfee got almost no offense in against Mr. McMahon. That does sound like a Mr. McMahon thing, but Mr. McMahon beat him. Then Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up, beat up everybody. There was a stunner to Austin Theory, which Austin Theory sold really well. Ironic that Mr. McMahon undertook a protege by the name of Austin, but Stone Cold Steve Austin delivered a stunner to Austin Theory. Austin sold it really well. Vince, not so much. One of the worst stunners I've ever seen, even worse than the one he did to Linda McMahon, but. And then, of course, he drank some beers. There's stunner Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee, even after getting stunnered outside the ring, still drinking the beer. Oh, we love you, Pat McAfee. Just a lot of love going around for WrestleMania 38. And then the main event, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Winner takes all for the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. They unified the world titles again, because it worked so well last time, but nevertheless they faced off here. It was okay. It definitely didn't live up to the hype, especially because it had kind of like an anticlimactic, just kind of a spear and pin Brock Lesnar. I was expecting more, but I think that's because Roman hurt himself. I think he injured his shoulder, and so you could tell because he was barely able to lift up the WWE Championship, which he held in his left hand, but. Roman, I think, is injured, but of course, you still had to have him win, so he won kind of quickly and then held up the title. That is not the second person I can think of who got a shoulder injury in a match involving the Universal Championship. The first was Finn Balor, also at no, it was at SummerSlam in 2016. My apologies, but yeah, so that was WrestleMania 38, and I gotta say, it was a pretty good show. Oh, I really enjoyed myself. There was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Looking at you, stunner to Mr. McMahon, but yeah, so a really solid WrestleMania. Definitely one of their better ones. Hopefully, this is a step in the right direction for WWE moving forward. But without further ado, thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy WrestleMania 38? Did you not enjoy it, and why? And I will see you guys later. Peace.